So I watch a lot of stuff in a month, and there are a few interested to know if I have watched their favorite films and shows or not. So I thought that why not share everything I watch in a month with y'all. I actually got the idea quite some time back, and when I got on the internet to check if others have already done it or not, I found the same kind of videos in one of my favorite film and two YouTubers channel, that is Karsten Runke. Hope I haven't butchered his name. So I see he came up with the idea first. So I kind of got disheartened that I obviously can't do the same thing as him. But this beginning of a new year has somewhat given me a confidence boost to do everything that I've ever wanted to. So I am here sharing my list with you all. Hello cinefam. Welcome to a new video in this new year where I'm going to be sharing with you everything I watched in the month of December 2023. So obviously I began my month with a matinee show of the much awaited Indian film Animal, which was cinematically fine, but the story seemed extremely derived from the previous works in cinema. Overall, it was entertaining but too triggering at times. Full review is out on channel, and please don't kill me with your comments because I called it entertaining. Next thing I watched was Sam Bahadur, which was not very impressive coming from Meghna Gulzar especially, who's made much better films in the past. I love the small moments in the film, Sam's conversations with his cook, and little interactions with PM Indira Gandhi. Personally, I didn't quite enjoy Vicky's performance. It was annoying and robotic, to be honest, and I think the real Sam would have been far more charming than him. Just a thought, but I think Jim Sharp could have fit the part more than Vicky did. Third film that I watched was the 1976 instant classic Taxi Driver. I'm so ashamed to admit that I watched this so late, but I just wanted to be honest about this with you guys. The reason these classics have been on my watch list since years and I watched them finally so late is because I always keep looking for the right place, right time, but that just never came. Until I decided to just let go everything my mind was preoccupied with and watch it while sitting with a bunch of people. And I'm glad I did. I feel that the film deserves every bit of the fame that it's gotten yet and more for the amazing script that was written by Paul Schrader and of course De Niro's performance with Scorsese's masterful direction. Honestly, it feels quite rebellious, much of what I felt when I first watched Fight Club. Yet it has a lot of beauty in showing the basic and simple truths of life in such a way that is straightforward and raw. Then I had to watch Killers of the Flower Moon because honestly I was so pissed off that it didn't release in my city, and I waited for it to be on OTT for 2 months until I couldn't, and then I just had to watch it. Somewhere I know I shouldn't have, but I just couldn't wait. Every second of it was worth watching, I must say. I loved every detail in it because I've always been a bit more in love with films that are culturally rich. So I love the gentle western music throughout the film, which transforms our mood from happy to tragic to thrilling, finally to feeling powerful in the end when Molly acknowledges the truth. Lily Gladstone has always done brilliant work in the past, and I am a bit glad that I know her from indie films like Certain Women and First Cow, so I'm kind of familiar with her A-game. And Lego's dumb guy humor oddly worked for me, and I think he was great, but please, the Oscar is Killian's this time. But seriously, I love how a constant atmosphere of enigma is built while anyone, and especially Molly, speaks Osage. It never gets too much. We kept wondering what she'd be saying in a scene, but it's like deep down we already know exactly what she must be saying. So excellent characterization that was. I think you've had enough of Scorsese and Hero now, although I'll never have enough of them. But coming back to the list, the next thing I watched was a Hindi series, that is Saas Bahu Aur Flamingo, which is about a group of women who run this huge drug cartel. It's seriously so damn fresh to watch, and it feels like a detour despite all that violence because I have had enough of watching manhandlers in the drug business. Unarguably one of the best series in 2023 from India. Next up was Tu Jhooti Main Makkar, which was a decent film and had a point until it didn't. And I wish that the point was explored in detail a bit. The character I hated the most was this little brat. Absolutely unnecessary she was, and of course I hated how everyone talked in long monologues, totally stripped of emotions. The jokes did land sometimes, but mostly they didn't. And the whole lot of gaslighting is irritating eventually, and we have to wait for a long time for the leads to finally talk. And Love Ranjan seriously needs to rethink on what he's made already and definitely a bit overthink on what to make next. For me, Next up was the brilliant Netflix series that is Beef. Beef is easily on my list of the best web series of all time, especially the art in it is just so evocative. It dares you to think about the larger picture. The titles and the design is different for each episode, which hints at a classic commentary on something or the other that's going in this society. On the surface, it's dark comedy and all, looks pretty bold, but what we explore towards the end is very precious. This show will stay with me, and I feel that. So, next up for me was another heart touching work, that is Past Lives, which was beyond beautiful. The experience of witnessing the simple story was surreal. As heartbreaking as it was, it also gave me hope that there's still gonna be way for such serene storytelling. Amazing performances and portrayal of the dilemma and needs of human relationships. Great writing as well. Next in line for me was Polite Society, which I absolutely loved, and it was damn relatable for me. Priya Kansara and Ritu Arya, these two have absolutely killed it in the film. If you like wacky movies with some funky action, this is it for you. Then I wanted to rewatch Jigar Thanda before seeing its sequel. The iconic blood and sambar wiping scene was still so damn humorous to me. This time I watched it more closely and it felt so Tarantino-esque. The tension, the build-up, the minute details, everything was top-notch. But Double X was all the more refined and an exceptionally well-made film in itself. It looks so unflawed because technically it has excelled and Karthik Subbaraj has always gotten the pulse right. So yes, it was one of my top 10 Indian films of 2023. Then I watched 4, which I could not like even with all that Irish energy, even though I wanted to like it. It left me with too many questions, but I sat till the odd end for Saoirse and Paul, and obviously all that build up in the first half, only to be left confused and disappointed. Then I watched Raju Irani and SRK's Donkey in theatres, which was flawed yet lovely to witness, illuminated on a new thing. I left the hall satisfied. Full review is out on channel. Then I watched the much awaited Rajan DK's Guns and Gulabs, which was impressive writing wise and characters were pretty original, so that aspect was creative. All the actors, especially Rajkumar, Adarsh and Gulshan, were damn good, and among the child actors, Tanishq was the standout for me. The execution slightly faltered, but overall I enjoyed the show. And next in line was School of Lies, a pretty standard show which again excels in writing, but the execution was faulty and at times boring too. Varun Rupani, everyone, is here to stay. What a mature and restrained performance at such a young age. The show is snail-paced, but definitely worth a watch. Next film I watched was a Tamil one called Dada, which portrays a relevant romance with complexities and problems of this generation. Kavin was fantastic, first half was terrific, loved the camera work, which included long close-ups. So basically a great watch, even though suffers from the second half curse. After Dada, I watched Mast Mein Rehne Ka, which I am totally in love with. Abhishek Chauhan, the star that he is, Monica Pawar, the beautiful talent that she is, Jackie sir and Neena ma'am, the perfect couple that they are, and how perfectly the director Vijay Maurya uses Rakhi Sawant in this film, and the dark but beautiful way he presents Mumbai is heart-touching. So must watch it is. After such a breath of fresh air, I watched an almost pensive thriller that is Kora. Amazing direction, execution and performances, truly mind-blowing. My next watch was Por Thodil, which was a perfect film. Just go watch it already. It's so riveting and meticulously designed that it will never cease to amaze me that it is DOP Kalai Salvan Shivaji as well as director Vignesh Raja's debut. Totally unparalleled work. Next up was Runway 34, which was obviously in my watch list, and finally I did watch it. First half was excellent, second half was dragged too much. Had Ajay Devgan cut it short, it would have really been a lot more easier to like it. Good detailing and build up as well as fine direction. I've always loved how ambitious Ajay is as a director. Treat to watch. Then the lovely Kho Gaye Hum Kahan was watched. Didn't quite expect to love it so much, but eventually did. Performances were genuine, songs were pretty good, editing was innovative. Overall, the film had something to say and that resonated with me. So the second last film of 2023 was a pretty old Abbas Mastan film, Ajnabi, but honestly it was damn good except for the usual cliches we despise in Bollywood. But Lord Bobby delivered, and how. Too good. Akshay was equally great too, but I found it really amusing that we used to have so many songs in one film in that era. That looks absolutely crazy to me. Then I watched Marathi film Vaalvi, which was easily in my top 10 Indian films of 2023. Do you know what Vaalvi means? Obviously you don't if you are a non-Marathi speaker like me. It means termites, dimak. Now what is termites' connection with this black comedy? For that you've got to watch the film, which is quite shocking as well as brilliant with that meticulously thoughtful ending. Madhugandha Kulkarni and Paresh Mukashi. I'm definitely gonna watch more of this couple now. Brilliant they are. So that was it for films. And the last series I watched was The Devastating Trial by Fire, which you need to watch in order to know how harrowing an incident it was in real. I mean in general, but especially for the parents. Rajshri Deshpande as a mother is chilling to witness. The show is definitely worth a watch. So that was everything I watched in December, and do let me know what was your most favorite film of 2023. To be honest, my most favorite film of 2023, which is quite difficult, but I'll make it easier by naming a very small film that's Mast Mein Rehne Ka. Not on top of my list cinematically, but definitely my favorite. Cinematically, it's Oppenheimer, but definitely my favorite was this. And the most important film was Killers of the Flower Moon. So I'll see you soon in my reviews, but till then keep watching and supporting good cinema, and I am sending lots of love to you for doing that.